canceled the study because of protests from the public and their own scientists. After that, the EPA prohibited all direct testing on pregnant women and children.
So how did this company get around the regulations to poison us?
Through a loophole called observational testing.
What's that?
You're having your place sprayed for bugs. They're allowed to test your kids to see how it affected them.
So Milstead sprayed the building with poison and then videoed what it did to Diego and the others.
And took these still photos.
So this isn't kiddie porn. It's part of his sick experiment.
Look at how they're shot. I think Milstead took them for evidence of toxicity to show whether the children developed skin rashes from this pesticide.
What poison are we talking about?
The pesticide manufacturer has to submit all research data to the EPA for final approval.
We've checked. We have no idea what the chemical is.
Well, then who does?
The company that made it. We only deal with them when they give us their final results, and it looks like the study wasn't completed.
Yeah, because a bunch of kids almost died.
Look, detectives, I don't have to answer to you. I assure you the EPA's hands are clean on this.
Yeah, clean like they were with Cheers?
We didn't spray people.
No, you waved $1,000 around some poor folks in return for exposing their kids to poison.
We only took people who were already using the stuff. Get your hands off of me.
Yeah, I bet you volunteered your kids.
It's not about my kids.
No, it's about exploiting the poor and the desperate because they don't matter.
The poor and the desperate are the ones most affected by rodents and parasites.
Parasites like the chemical companies that do this while you look the other way.
We don't condone what happened here.
But you're responsible. Because your regulations allow those chemical makers to do what they want.
According to ethical guidelines and established rules and regulations.
Which everybody seems to ignore, because I bet the research company didn't even bother to get permission to test those people.
I think you underestimate them. There's no way they'd open themselves up to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. I guarantee you, they cover themselves.
Did you give them permission, Jennifer?
Mr. Milstead said if I signed the form, we could get money.
How much?
$100 every few months.
And what did you have to do?
Let Mr. Milstead spray the drug in the apartment.
Hold on. They told you that it was a drug?
Yes, one that could keep the roaches away from us.
They never said that it was a poison? They never said it was a pesticide?
No. He said it was safe. But it wasn't.
Jennifer, it wasn't your fault. You didn't know. He probably knew that it was poison for roaches.
The doctor says he's going to need chemo. What am I going to do? I have no medical insurance, no money. How am I going to pay for this?
Jennifer, the form that you signed, did Mr. Milstead give you a copy?
Yes. In my apartment.
Somebody should get the EPA to clean this up for when Jennifer and Diego come home.
Got it. Here it is.
It's a lot of pages. They expect some poor undocumented immigrant that barely speaks English to get through that?
There's no way. It's written in such legalese I can't even understand it. Listen to this. Forever indemnifies EHD Associates, its worldwide subsidiaries and satellite corporations in the U.S. from any and all liability.
Does it say who hired the research company?
Here we go. Waiver of liability shall also extend to Danforth Chemical, Inc., which corporation has contracted EHD Associates to carry out the study described herein.
Danforth Chemical. Sons of bitches pay some subcontractor who takes the lowest bid to do their dirty work.
I don't care if they're in the Fortune 500. They're not getting a waiver of liability on this one.
Can I help you?
Mr. Hanley?
No, I'm Charlie Moss. I represent Danforth Chemical.
Well, I'm here to speak with the company's CEO, Roger Hanley.
With regard to what?
The chemical that your company sprayed at 957 Fort Washington Avenue.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Hanley doesn't know anything about that, and he's not available anyway.
I'm sure he is available. He just doesn't have the guts to deal with me himself.
And your interest in this, Miss?
Detective, Mr. Moss. Detective Benson. And my interest in this is that the poison that your client sprayed almost killed me.
You showed your badge to the security people downstairs. Is that how you got in?
I did. What does that have to do with this?
Well, you're here on personal business, which means that you entered the building under false pretenses.
11 other people were also poisoned by your company's product.
Which product exactly?
That's what I'm here to find out.
Well, unless you have a subpoena, I'm afraid I can't help you. Now, I suggest you leave the building. Let's go.
You touch me again,
and I will collar you for assaulting a cop.
You should listen to him, unless you want me to call the police and have you arrested for trespassing, Miss Benson.
I'm sorry, Liv, but there's nothing I can do. It's over.
Well, I'm not going to stop.
You can hire a civil attorney.
This isn't about money.
Okay, I am talking about your career in a flaming downward spiral. Look, Charlie Moss called his friend, the district attorney, about your visit and started throwing out phrases like conflict of interest and abuse of power.
Danforth Chemical's the one abusing their power. They committed 12 counts of assault, too.
Which is not a sex crime.
Assault 2, intentionally causing stupor by administering without consent.
Intentionally means you're going to have to prove intent.
That company treated those people like lab rats. And I'd like to stick it to the EPA, too.
Okay, even if you had a case, the federal government and its agencies have blanket immunity.
And Diego Benitez has follicular lymphoma. Who do we hold accountable for that?
You are thinking like a victim, Liv. If you were thinking like a cop, you'd realize it's not that simple.
And neither was Tuskegee or Willowbrook. This is no different. Those people sprayed poison.
Those people didn't spray it. Seth Milstead sprayed it, and he's dead. Now, if you want to charge Danforth Chemical, you're going to have to prove that their chemical caused Diego's cancer.
I can't testify that pesticide caused Diego's cancer.
Why not?
Because it's almost impossible to prove. For starters, Diego Benitez is the only person in the building with follicular lymphoma.
But he and the other kids were exposed to that stuff every day for 2 years.
And to asbestos, lead paint, cockroach and rodent droppings, all the amenities of substandard living condition.
So any of those things could have made him sick?
Or any combination, or none of the above. We just don't know. Cancer is a complex multi-step process involving environment and genetics. Even if I found 10 people in that same building with the same disease, I'd be telling you the same thing.
Thought the joint would be empty.
I thought the doctor said you had to be on house arrest for 2 weeks.
I can't stay away.
It's almost midnight.
I didn't want Craig to see me.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
You ready for your visit to Danforth?
Oh, I see word travels fast.
Well, you know me, I got spies everywhere. Are you sure you want to do this for yourself?
So you think that I should give up too?
No, I think what you're doing is great. And it's wonderful to be passionate about.
Well, it's easy to be passionate when you're one of the victims.
Well, at least you got the guts to admit it. But what do you tell victims? Get help. The problem is you're not following your own advice right now.
What do you mean get help? You want me to hire a lawyer? If I sue this chemical company, they will bury me in paperwork for the next 10 years. The kid could be dead by then. Elliot, I don't even know what made us sick. It's proprietary information.
Ways to find out.
What does that mean?
It means sometimes the only way to beat someone in a dirty fight is to get right down into the gutter with them.
You want me to what?
Please don't make me ask you again.
You worked in computer crimes. Why don't you do it yourself?
I would if I could. I wasn't there long enough to learn.
I never figured you for someone who'd break the law.
I'm desperate. This is the only way that I can get what I need.
Why not just get a subpoena?
I've tried playing fair, and I got nowhere. I need this information to get the subpoena.
And it's worth losing our jobs and going to prison?
I know what I'm asking you to do. And there will be no hard feelings if you say no. But it will help me prove that a very big company is intentionally poisoning little kids. So yeah, I think that's worth it.
I'm in?
It had to be in the men's room.
Well, I have a signal.